help to share conversations with regards to finance, with regards to personal communication and personal development. So that's why we are here today. And over here, we are conducting this in collaboration with the Moolah Kids. So the Moolah Kids is an initiative meant to help parents and young children be more positive about financial literacy, where we help to share with parents how to have conversations with their children with regards to financial literacy. So hopefully, for the past two sessions last week, we have had to share some nuggets of wisdom with all of you. And we hope that it has been a beneficial session. In the first session, just a short recap, we had Nazura or Bunda Nas sharing with us aspects of budgeting, all right? Spending, sorry, with aspects of spending. And then, of course, in the second session, we had Nur Fajrina, or Ummi Faj, as we fondly call her in Moolah Kids, sharing with us aspects of budgeting. So hopefully some of you might have had some insights, some useful wisdom and knowledge on how you can have conversations with your children. So along the way, we have decided to make the resources available for all of you who attend these 3 workshops. And as you realize, we have not charged anything or anyone with this workshop because we want this to be something beneficial for the community. Because at Moolah Kids, we believe that in order for us to foster the next generation of financially empowered community is when we start them young. So this is where we are starting. And we are also happy to share that today we are going to have not just the last, but also the most important aspects of financial management. And that is savings. Okay, it's savings. Now, can I just have a show of hands? How many of you here find it hard to save money? Just click on the emoji or say yes in the chat. How many of you here find it hard to save money? Ada tak yang rasa liat sikit nak save money? Tak ada Wah, fantastic. Everybody here is good saving money. All right. Oh, Nira said yes. You know, one of the things that it comes to saving, I know that my mom likes to play this thing, or not play lah. It's this thing called senoman. Do you know what senoman is? All of you know, right? So senoman was one of the more conventional ways of Kak Sabar dia menggigil kalau tak ada duit. Menggigil pasal tak ada duit atau tak ada makan, Kak? Okay, so we know that senoman is one of those things that our parents last time used to indulge themselves in, and that was a way of enforced savings, whereby a community of people, maybe 10 people, kind of force themselves to save money, and according to the pick lots, siapa yang dapat dulu will get to save that money. So essentially every month you are putting in money to save for your own, but of course in this manner you are actually giving someone the priority of using that money according to what they picked up, right? So that's Sonoman. So these days we have a lot of aspects of savings, and some are hard, some are easy. These days we have save as you earn schemes, and then you have financial plans from all the institutions and such. So if it's hard for us parents to inculcate the discipline of savings, imagine how harder it would be for our children to understand what savings is all about. And Raja Jahil said, yeah, I can save money because high expenses. I agree with you. I totally agree with you. In fact, do you realize that the longer we live, the more expenses we have to spend, right? So that's one of the things. And older people used to say, like, it's better to die rather than be in hospital and get treated. You know, these are the kind of statements we hear from our older folks. So today we have a very special guest who will be with us this morning. And this gentleman happens to be a friend of mine also. And we got acquainted a few years back. And I realized that he was also very passionate about financial management, about personal savings. And not only is he someone who's passionate about finance and savings, he also has a special ability about him. And I think children of all ages will be able to relate to this special superpower that he has. And that is his passion and his ability to create stories out of comic books, or rather the other way around, comic books out of stories, right? So this gentleman, he's been in the financial services industry for the past over 5 years, and he's also passionate about children's education and children's saving schemes and management because he has a young daughter himself. So he really believes in what he shares. He really believes in what he advocates. So hari ini, this morning, we've gotten him to share with us his thoughts, his management tactics and techniques on how he can help parents like us be able to share about saving money. Okay, because these are the kind of things that he also shares with his daughter, and I've seen some of his nuggets of wisdom over on his social media. Recently, this year, 2021, in spite of the COVID situation, he teamed up with a good long-time friend of his, and they actually, and this is something that's going to be news to all of us, this year, he actually managed to publish his very first book, an illustrated book on savings or on money management. And this book is currently published in Amazon, and it's being sold on Amazon. And he has sold his first run of the published book, right? So he actually sold out his first published run, and he has printed a new batch of books. And the reason why he wanted to share the nuggets of financial management and savings via this book is because I think it appeals to children. So he wants the kids to be able to learn about savings, what to do with money. So the title of the book is What Do I Do with My Money? And he has a few interesting characters in the book. And this year also, just in Ramadan, we actually asked for his permission to use his characters, his cartoon characters, to be part of a collaboration with Masjid Ash-Shafa'ah. So we had a campaign called Savings Ramadan or Ramadan Savings, and we wanted to create that campaign whereby kids will want to save during the Ramadan. So we wanted to have characters that appeal to the marketing collaterals, and we got this gentleman's permission to allow his characters to be published as the official character for Saving Ramadan. So thank you so much to this guest of ours. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it is now 10:45. Do grab your pen and paper if you wish to. Hady will be sharing with us with regards to how savings can be shared as a conversation with your children. So ladies and gentlemen, let's put our attention and our applause for our speaker, Hady Hamid. Over to you, Hady.
Assalamualaikum everyone. Thank you so much, Hijazi, for such a very in-depth and illustrious introduction about me. Yes, I got to know Hijazi, I think about 2 years ago when he gave a very comprehensive workshop about communication. And I think after that we sort of hit it off, and then we've been meeting every now and then to discuss about things that we can do better for our community as a whole. And I think that's why Hijazi and I just believe that there are a lot of things that are still, in terms of gaps that we can fill up for our community. And Alhamdulillah, I'm truly honored to be invited to this workshop, to be speaking with you all who have sacrificed last weekend and today on such a very nice morning that you can actually snuggle up in bed or actually just laze in front of the TV, but instead you choose to attend a seminar. And I think that is a sign of true commitment. I've seen some of the recurring faces that came for the first two, and you also are present here now. So I really applaud you. And inshallah, I can guide you along the process of actually doing or guiding your children on how to save. And is something that will be hopefully informative and beneficial for all of you. So I'll be sharing my screen now. Okay. Okay. So I hope everyone is able to see this. Sorry, I don't know why it's got, yeah. Okay.
Sorry, Hady, sorry. Yeah. Your voice has a fan feedback. So
Oh,
there's
sorry. Yeah. Let me
can
just
hear the. So sorry. Okay, thank you so much.
Yeah. Okay. Is it better? All right. Okay, so welcome to the third installment of the How to Finance series, which is under savings. As Hijazi mentioned, my name is Hady Hamid. I am a personal wealth manager, and I'm the author of the children's book, What Do I Do With My Money? So today I'll be sharing with you some proven ways to guide your children to save. And why I say proven is because this method, I have tested it out over a course of like almost a year with my own kids, specifically my daughter, who is now 7 years old. And I also, I've been advising some of my other clients about how they can also implement some of these ways for their own children. Okay. Okay. So in terms of how to get to effective savings, there are 5 stages. And I hope that you can adopt and internalize these 5 stages, because it's not a matter of what you know, it's a matter of how you apply what you know. And you can see that the very first stage is mindset, followed by evaluation, commitment, application, and consistency. So just keep in mind, whatever that is written on the slides, I'll be speaking or adding on to what is written on the slide. So if you want to take notes or you want to screen capture, by all means, go ahead. So you can get as much information as you can. Okay, so we will carry on with the first one. So why do we begin with mindset? Okay, the first thing that I noticed in my first few years as a financial consultant is that mindset is the one that usually hinders people from actually adopting a good financial habit or planning, or adopting financial planning comprehensively. So mindset is something that you need to change, and you need to really, with that change, then you materialize it in your habits, in your behavior, in your attitude. Because as you know, children look up to their parents, especially younger children, they look up to their parents wholeheartedly. We are their world. Whatever we do, whatever we say, whatever the things that we think, or the mentality or the attitude that we give out, they will automatically take it as that is 100% true. So we also have to make sure that when it comes to money, we show that we can manage our money well. We talk about money well. We don't say things like tak ada rezeki, those kind of very negative things that we might think is very little, but when you say tak ada rezeki, or when you say
Hady, sorry, ada feedback from the audience. When the fan turns, it blows
oh,
into the
okay,
feedback.
I'll just
So,
turn it off. Okay. I
sorry.
don't know why my
Thank
fan.
you.
I don't know why my fan today is a bit loud. Okay.
No, your mic is too good. That's why. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, so as I was saying, yeah, when things like that, when we actually speak very with negative things, negative connotations about money, then it actually bleeds out into how we spend it, how we manage it, how we actually take care of the money and the savings that we have. So these kind of things actually, every little bit counts, and you have to make sure that you change it, the way you manage it, change it, so that your children can see and emulate what you do wholeheartedly. Okay. So the next thing is evaluation. Now, not every child is the same, we know, and actually this is something that I myself made a mistake with. Let me just share you a bit of a nugget about my past life. So when I was about 6 or 7, I guess this is quite common with parents during that generation, the baby boomers. My mom just like casually told me to go out for some errands and buy stuff when I was just 6 or 7. She didn't even care whether I had to cross the road or whether strangers would pick me up or what. But she just say, okay, she usually send me out to buy like from the provision shop, and then she always send me out to buy desiccated coconuts or kelapa parut lah. Okay, so she would just give me like either exact amount in coins, or she would give me like maybe $1 and tell me you have to get this much change. So I guess because of that, the constant exposure that I underwent transactions, basically like it made me aware of money at a very young age. And I made a mistake of expecting that from my own daughter, because nowadays we don't actually send out our kids to do those kinds of errands like very, willy-nilly like that. So in a way that I expected her to actually know about money as much as I do at her age, and actually that was wrong of me. So I had to reconsider and reevaluate where she stands in terms of her money or her understanding of money. So what I did was actually come up with this worksheet, this very simple worksheet, and I will give to Baraka people to share with you all. So this worksheet is basically how they make you know, $1 or $2 is to evaluate themselves, and you have to make sure that they have the mental gymnastics in terms of they know how to make $1 or $2 straight away. This is crucial because it starts out with the small denominations, and then it can help them progress to the bigger ones. Yeah, so sorry, I just have to on the fan a bit. This is very hard. So it has to have that kind of progression. You cannot just expect your kids. I hope this is still okay on the audio. You have to slowly expect your kids to understand bit by bit, and you have to expose them to real world transactions. So for example, if you can go to places or shops that actually deal with coins and not cashless. So the one thing that also kind of destroys a kid's ability to actually learn about money is cashless. Cashless kind of like takes away that whole understanding of money because money is invisible to them. And you have to make sure that they understand that money is something that you need to you know, visualize in your head, and they cannot kind of visualize that as kids. They have to see things all tangibly. So you have to practice that with them first. For example, like, you know, sometimes TCMs are around your neighborhood. TCMs usually they kind of still do very traditional way of transaction. Go to TCMs with them, go to provision shops, make them pay for stuff. Like if you buy ice cream for them or something, make them you know, experience that transaction. And from there, then you can progress better. Okay. Next step is commitment. And when I say commitment is you have to commit as a parent, and you have to make sure that you monitor their financial habits. You monitor when you give them allowance, you monitor their spending habits. What did they spend it on? Ask them, is it actually worth that you spend? For example, like my daughter, right? Uh, at school, she has this very favorite dish of hers, mac and cheese. So there's two sizes for mac and cheese, which is the regular 150, and then the large is $2. And because I give her allowance of $2, she tends to always spend the $2 mac and cheese, even though my wife actually packs for her snacks and then she has a water bottle. And then I asked her, do you really think that it's worth it to buy $2 worth of mac and cheese? Because you come home at 1:30, you already have lunch, right? You know, so things like this, you have to make them question their own purchases or their own expenses, because for kids, they don't earn yet. Allowance is not earning. Allowance is just getting money. This is not the same. When you just get the money, you don't value the money, and there's a difference between cost and value, and they don't understand. Is these are all just really semantics of the same thing, money. I get it, and then I just spend. So you need to ask them whether it's actually worth it what they just bought, and also you have to monitor and track what they spend, and also help them develop the savings. And this is an everyday thing. It doesn't matter that if you sort of you forget once in a while, but you know, just make it up for the next day. Okay. So here comes the multi-tiered kind of stage application. And as I mentioned, that it doesn't matter what you know, it matters you apply what you know. So application is very important. Knowledge without application is truly pointless, because then it just sits there in your mind, and then after that it deteriorates over time. Okay, so step one is set savings goals. Okay, every kid really, they don't play Price is Right, and Price is Right is honestly, I feel, is a very kind of old reference for us, for them. So set savings goals. Nowadays, you know, there's Carousel, there's all these e-commerce platforms. Try to just explore, browse through all those platforms, and just share with them, or make them see like how much things actually cost. So then they get a rough understanding about some of the things that can actually cost, like, you know, how much does an iPad cost? How much does a PS5 video game cost? How much does a PS5 console cost? Things like that. So then you ask them, if I give you, let's say, $2 per day, how much do you actually have to save to get to that amount? And when they actually start to think about how many days that I have to get the allowance to actually get to pay that, like I say, the PS5 console, then they understand, damn, that actually is a very long time for me to actually get to that goal. So it makes them understand that it's an effort to actually save money, it's an effort to actually buy something that large, that significant, and it's actually it takes a toll on someone so that they can actually empathize, hopefully empathize with the parent that gives them the money. Okay. Okay, so the other thing about applying is providing a place to save. I think either Naz or Faj actually covered this about having the bank, the coin bank, the tabung. And this is something that I myself experienced. When I was little, my dad actually got me the Maybank Tiger coin bank, which is a very, I don't know if you guys remember, it was a slender kind of bank. And what my dad actually did to make it fun was that we only had what capacity to put in coins because the slot was very small. So we put in coins, but my dad said every time you put in, you pick it up and then you feel how heavy it is. And the heavier it is, that means it's getting better. You know, because I couldn't see how much it is and I couldn't count at that point, but it actually made the whole process fun and it actually made me want to keep putting coins inside. So whenever I have some money, I put coins inside and then I showed my dad like how heavy it is and then he said, okay, yeah, good, keep it up. That's all he could say. My dad didn't really dole out much of the gratuities in terms of affection. So, but he helped guide me along the way of all these useful things. Okay, so this is all about going back to tangibility. Still, with kids, everything they don't really have the capacity, and I'm talking about younger kids. They don't actually have the capacity yet to imagine money as like an intangible concept. Maybe when they're about 11 or 12, then that's when they start to matter more about or think more about my bank account, how much is in my bank balance. So younger children, they need something that's more concrete. Okay, so offer savings incentives. So of course, kids will have a problem or a hurdle actually like understanding why savings is important, because to them, mama and papa is always there. You know, whenever whatever it is, I can just ask for mama and papa to give me anything I want. But you have to make them understand like the importance of saving money, and sometimes you just have to incentivize her. Okay, so what I do for this is how I got the idea about the book. And actually it's not even an original idea, it's actually something I read up somewhere online. So you can either match savings, like let's say you tell them, okay, if you want to achieve a bicycle, and this is actually what I did with my daughter, she has a bicycle because of match savings. So I told her, if you save up to this point, I will give you 100% matching of your savings. And ultimately, I think I matched up to $56. She saved up to $56. Of course, that's not just allowance. That one is like duit daripada nenek dengan kai, duit daripada hari raya semua. But she saved it, and I told her, fair game, all that money counts. So I gave her $56. So alhamdulillah, we got her first bicycle. So now she's already riding bicycle with training wheels. And basically, as you can see, this this matching or incentives, you don't have to always just give 100% matching. You can perhaps give milestones, like if you save up to, let's say, $10, I'll give you $2 extra, or you give a percentage. It's all up to you, but basically it's just incentivizing. Okay, so this is an example of what you can find in my book. This is basically at the end of the story. where we show an example how you can use the book. Inside there's a budget tracker, and you can use it with your kids in a very fun way. Key in your allowance, how much you give them, track every day how much their expenses, what is the balance that they got after that, and then your matching amount. So if this is something that, so matching amount, so you can just do it on your own terms. It doesn't have to be equal. You can do it percentage wise, like 50% or whatever. And then at the end of the week, after you tally up the total, you can just affix a sticker there. So it makes them feel accomplished. Every week there's an accomplishment that they can look forward to. I know maybe this one perhaps it appeals more to like younger kids or girls, because main character is a girl and is very colorful. But just try to motivate the boys also. Maybe you can get your own stickers also. It doesn't matter. You can get the Transformer stickers or something that's fixed there. Yeah. Because I did show to my son, and he's like he couldn't care less. So okay. So the next step is, okay, this is some people I've shared this with, and they find it like a bit controversial, maybe because it kind of teaches the kid to about interest, and it's not the main point is not about that. The main point is actually to make them learn the reality of life, that interest is painful. And of course, as Muslims, interest, we do not practice interest. Bopian, the banks, we have to get interest for them, but of course, we don't use the money from there. But this is to teach them that if you want to, function in the real world, there is such thing called interest. And basically, like, if they want something that they cannot wait for, and then let's say, okay, I want a PS5 so much. Okay, it's going to cost $500. I will pay for that, but you're going to give me a 20% interest. That means out of your allowance, you're going to pay me back 500 plus 20%. And I don't care how long you take, but you're going to pay me back that much. So what this teaches them is that there's the value of waiting. Because people nowadays, especially kids nowadays, they don't understand the value of waiting. Is all about instant gratification. For them, it's like now is now. There's no tomorrow, and it's very sorry, but it's very bad way of growing up with that kind of mentality. So, and it also teaches them not to depend on things like credit cards or personal loans for very menial things. Whenever there's something that is out of your means, work for it. Work for it. That is the Islamic way. So this is one thing when you act as the creditor. This is something for them to learn about the realities of life. Okay, so basically, if like something they want to spend, you just lend the money, and then after you pay them, they pay you back with interest. And the last thing that you need to know about this exercise, right, about being their creditor, that interest, an added layer of understanding it from the Islamic perspective is that you tell them upfront that this interest, you're not going to use it. This interest, I'm actually going to donate it, but tell the child to choose a charity. Tell the child, okay, you choose a charity, which one you want to donate it to. So at least they also understand that we do not consume interest. This is merely just punishing them for not being able to wait for their whatever they want. And after that, at least they know the value of giving also. So it's really beneficial on two levels. And last but not least, really on this application, leave room for mistakes. Now, when I say leave room for mistakes, it doesn't contradict the earlier part where it's like commit to being on the ball with your kids. This means that even when you are on the ball, you monitor and all that. Yes, kids will make mistakes, but you cannot dog on them. And honestly, this is something that I myself made this mistake of not leaving room for her to make mistakes. I dog on her for just making this kind of silly purchases, and then she gets really sad and all that. But I learned after that she's after all still 7 years old. She's gonna make mistakes. This is just, she's not even halfway through her life, inshallah. So I have to let her make mistakes and then make her understand. So it's just a matter of correcting her and making her understand, like, why was it wrong to make that sort of purchase, or why was it wrong to blow all your money on certain things, or like just taking your savings for certain things that are not beneficial to your life. So let them make the mistake, and then after that you just explain why. Because after all, we also as parents, it's not like as if we stop making mistakes. You know, our lives are not over. We're gonna make mistakes also. So how come we cannot let them make mistakes? Yeah. And last but not least, on the final stage is consistency. Okay, so practice makes progress. I wouldn't say practice makes perfect because there's no such thing as perfection in this world, but progress is important. So whatever it is, keep on doing whatever that you adopted, the technique, the strategy. If you stop, then it's just gonna die and it's gonna be a waste of whatever that you've done in the past. So always make sure that you istiqamah, be disciplined. And the word discipline here is very important because I just want to share with you, this was my budget book from 2013. Of course, I don't use a book anymore because being green and all that, but basically I still track my spending every single day. Every purchase I make use of the technology that I have, which is just the phone, and I input my purchase every day. At the end of the day, I input all the purchases of the day, and then at the end of the month, I make sure that everything is within the budget. You have to be disciplined. If I can do this, alhamdulillah, for the past 8 years, then you can do it too. This is nothing about like you have to be financially savvy, like you have to be, you know, wealthy, or you have to be smart at a certain level. No, anyone can do this, seriously, because before I met my wife, she is the one who taught me budgeting. She is the one who told me that I have to be disciplined about my money. And alhamdulillah, I'm glad that my wife taught me that, and I've been enjoying budgeting. Honestly, it might sound like very nerdy to say that I enjoy budgeting, but I do. You know why? Because a lot of people, when they hear about budgeting, they feel like they're losing power to their money. But honestly, power is more emboldened within yourself when you actually budget, because you control the money, not money controls you. So just think about that, okay? So that's all I have for my presentation. I hope you've really enjoyed and benefited from all of that. And I wish you all the best in terms of your financial journey and adopting all the great techniques and strategies that Barakah people and Moolah kids have imparted to all of you. So alhamdulillah, thank you so much and have a great day.
MashaAllah. Thank you so much, Hady. Let's give a round of applause for our facilitator for this morning, Hady. Thank you so much. Hady, I didn't expect to learn so much within this, like what, 25, 30 minutes of your sharing. Can the participants,
Q&A, yeah, go ahead.
Thumbs up, yeah. Okay, so thank you, Kak Sabaria. Now, the thing that I liked about Hady's sharing today was because it kind of wrapped up very nicely what was shared during the first two sessions with regards to budgeting and spending. And then when Hady comes in today with the very holistic concept about how savings can be implemented, and he gave us very good real life practical examples, I think that kind of wrapped it up. And I very much love things which he shared. My one learning lesson today was actually when he mentioned about being a creditor. Now, as a Muslim parents, or rather Muslim parent these days, most of us are exposed to things like interest or riba and that kind of thing. But Hady's twisted take on it, like how you can be a so-called a creditor and just inflict a bit of emotional pain onto the kids. Kan these days kan kids tak sabar kan, everything gratification. Nampak ni kat YouTube, besok nak. Nampak ni kat ni, dah suruh buy kat Shopee and that kind of thing. So when we inflict a bit of pain, I think that's a brilliant thing for Hady to introduce, because I myself have this problem. Macam mana nak kasih diorang rasa, normally I will tell my kids, okay, hari ni ayah bayarkan, tomorrow you pay me back. And they pay back the same amount which they already have. So for them, not a big deal. But then now I realize with Hady's small sharing, I think it's very powerful. Now you pay me back with a bit of 20%, and then after that 20%, boleh sedekah kat masjid mana-mana. I think that's very brilliant. Thank you so much, Hady, for your sharing. Now, anyone, any participants here who have any questions, we will now open up the room, okay, for Faj and Nas and Hady to be featured and spotlighted, because I'm going to have a short panel session whereby all of us can ask any of these three questions. Will that be okay? Can Faj, Nas, Hady, is it okay for you?
Yeah, sure.
All right, fantastic. Okay, so I'll just get all of you to how to spotlight all of you. Okay, spotlight. Let's spotlight. Okay. Okay, siapa-siapa yang nak tanya soalan can just open up your mic and just ask questions. If not, I will also can ask question. Ada siapa-siapa nak tanya? Kak Sabarina, Syira, Raja Jahil, Nurlian. Any questions? Tak ada? Okay, if you have any questions, you can just think along the way. I have one question from a friend of mine who I was speaking about, and I just want to get your thoughts. The question is, how do I make my child who is a 9-year-old understand the value of money? Okay, this is the question. How do I make my child who is 9 years old understand the value of money? Okay, so maybe I start with Nas first. Nas, maybe you can give us your thoughts.
Okay, Assalamualaikum everyone. My name is Nazira. So the value of money, I think we shared on the previous punya session before lah. Okay, so value of money is quite important for them to know that it's something like we have to earn, and it's also important that kalau kita hilang duit pun duit takkan kembali. Gitu, the same money won't come back to you. So this value of money, you need to portray that is a very valuable thing, that it helps you in your day to day. No matter what, nak beli makanan ke air ke apa, this particular 50 cent kalau kadang-kadang duit kita tercecer, this 50 cent will actually help your next purchases. For example, kadang-kadang macam if let's say I tertinggal $1 at home, tapi I need the coin to put inside the trolley, and this coin is the old $1 and 50 cent, and I will always have the new $1. Then nanti I macam, alamak, susah lah. Gini, habis nak sekarang NTUC, for example, if NTUC dia punya that they have this change note to coins, tapi this note pula is $2. And then if my wallet ada $10, I couldn't go anywhere. So what I have to do, I have to take the basket. So this basket will determine my next purchases juga, which is tak boleh beli banyak barang, which is good, kan? Technically lah. So this is my opinion on the value of money. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Nas. Appreciate it. That was very clear, very simple. Faiz, I have one question for you actually, from one of the Baraka people punya ni. This lady is asking, she's actually a home baker, so she was asking with regards to budgeting. She said that she receives a weekly pay, or her husband gives her nafkah in that sense. So how does she translate the budgeting that she does to her kids also, to make her kids know that whatever mama have for this week, mama have to budget because this is what I earn. So how will she be able to effectively share with her kid?
So she earns weekly, is it? With
She earns
allowance
weekly,
from
correct.
Then in that sense, because I think in the budgeting session we actually went through tracking exercise. So this tracking exercise can actually be done either weekly atau monthly lah, depends on your how. Because when we give anak-anak the allowance, it can be weekly or can be monthly, betul tak? So likewise, this can also be applied to us. Kalau katakan your gaji is weekly or gaji you monthly, you can also do it the same way. Yeah.
All right, thank you so much, Faiz. Hady, ni satu soalan. This one is from me personally. Okay. So the question is, you say that allowance is not earned, and this was what you mentioned in your speech just a little bit earlier. You say that allowance is not earned. This is something yang kids have to understand. Boleh indulge us a little bit on what you mean by this, because I think I agree with you.
Okay. Thanks for the question. So earning is something that in the definition in itself, it means that you work for it, whereas getting is just something that, just get lah. And allowance, it has to be understood by the children that this is something that you did not work for, and sometimes you have to sort of deprive them, and I did that with my daughter. So what happens is that after some time where it just does not click with her why some of the purchases are quite bad, and then I ask her, do you really think that the money that you have is something that is important to you? And then she said, yeah, because otherwise I cannot buy my mac and cheese. Okay, so what happens is that the next day, I actually just didn't give her allowance. So that means that power was taken away from her, and then she was left like, oh, I'm not getting money. Yeah, so you just eat the snack that mama gave you. Okay. Then after that, when she came back from school that day, and then I asked her, so how you like not having the money? No, because I saw all my friends can buy things, and I just sat there. So much as a day lah. But you know, in life, you have to learn lessons the hard way, and that's how she actually understood that this money that you got, you have to treat it with respect. And because then I showed her not my pay slip, but I showed her like my just my recent like weekly pay, and I showed her, okay, Safia, you understand that I work almost every day and I don't see you almost every day. And then what I get is money, this is what I get because I work. So if I don't work, I don't have this money. If I don't have this money, this is what we're gonna have. So it's a lot of things that you need to explain. But at the end of the day, then they will. She understood like money does not just come from thin air, and it's sort of like that's the fallacy of how we live in today, because everything is delivered. Like dulu, I had to go to follow my mom to NTUC to buy all the groceries. I see physically that she bought the things, she paid with money that my dad gave her, because dulu pun my dad always give money in front of us, and then I understood that that money, the stream was from somewhere. But my kids, they just see Red Mart datang kat depan rumah, then it's like, oh, okay. And then McDonald's pun datang depan rumah, or everything is just, it just magically appears. So that's the thing about our lifestyle now, is that the kids cannot see where money comes from. So when we have to actually do a more comprehensive manner about explaining to them, this money comes from here, and then sometimes taking the money from them just makes them feel the pain and feel that, oh yeah, this money has to be a source from somewhere, and that source is me lah, and that my source of money is from my company. So yeah, she understood after that.
Thank you so much, Hady. Tiba-tiba rasa bersalah pula, because just remember that I also do that. McDonald's tahu kat pintu, Red Mart kat pintu, Foodpanda kat pintu, because we think that is something that, you know, we are conveniencing ourselves, and we are showing to our kids that, you know, hey, ayah, you know, can provide this for you or that kind of thing. Tapi I realize from Hady sharing, salah juga. I mean, the intention is there, tapi the mechanism, the method of us doing that, we are actually teaching our kids a different way of appreciating money. Thank you so much, Hady. Wow, okay, apa Kak Sabarina cakap? Personally, I agree that record spending needs discipline, but it's commitment to make practice, to make progress. Betul. And I don't know, but what Hady just did in terms of sharing with us the budget book kan, itu confirm I will never do because I got no discipline, tak ada commitment. Mungkin sebablah tu I belum ni belum budget properly, okay, because budgeting is not done by me lah. My wife is the better budgeter. Apparently these days females are much better budgeting people. Am I right? Betul tak Kak Sabaria? Is it true that women makes the better budgeting people?
I will agree.
InsyaAllah.
I will.
Habis kita jaga finance.
Betul lah.
MOF.
Minister of Finance should always be women. I don't know, but I find this very weird because we tend to associate women or mothers to be more emotional. So when they do things, you know, they tend to be emotional, and men are supposed to be more rational. But when it comes to budgeting and finance, apparently women are much more disciplined and much more resolute. Dorang tahu. I do not know why, but my mom can survive on $500 a month last time, and she can buy and do so many things. Duit macam come out of thin air lah, macam Hady cakap kan. Sekarang dapat 2,000 pun terkitai-kitai macam tak tahu macam mana nak manage. So that is something worth noting lah. Okay, we'll now go on to the next segment before we end off. Nas and Faj will go on a recap on what we did last 2 weeks. Faj and Nas, are you ready? Is it okay? Can, Okay. Carry on, Nas. Faj, yeah.
Can see my screen? Okay. Alright, okay.
Sorry je. Okay, my anak-anak dekat luar. You can hear me, eh? All right. Thank you so much, Hady, and also Jazz. So for this recap and a little bit on savings will be done by two of us. We are the Moolah managers lah. So my name will be called as Bunda Nas because my my anak call me Bunda, and then Faj is Ummi Faj. Okay. So we are going to do a little bit touch on savings, but before we can do on savings, there will be a recap on spending and also budgeting. So this spending and budgeting has been done last weekend, which I think some of you tak dapat hadir, but it's okay. So for our agenda, it will be a recap on these two, and we'll be focusing on the importance of savings, ways to save, and also how to make our kids a money saver. Okay, next, please. Okay, so recap on spending. What we have covered is like payment methods available, which the kids usually use. Okay, sources of income, value of money, identifying needs and wants, and purchasing power. So payments methods like what Hady has also mentioned about PayWave, pakai Grab, all this, it's quite common in our era now. Okay, which the kids wouldn't know what it is actually, but in time to come, when they start to have handphones, have the ability to make some payment through the phone, they will actually understand that it's very accessible. But also at the another point of thing is that dorang tak tahu that duit tu actually merusut. Okay, because kita tak nampak. Like macam kita PayWave pun kita tap sekali. Kalau decline means dah habis kan, because it's not credit technically. But if it's credit card, at times the punya limit is so much that kita cannot even kawal. Okay, and sources of income for the kids wise, the mainly is the mere allowance. But other sources is like macam duit raya, which just passed few months ago. They might have all this income that is coming in. Where do they do with that money? Diorang kasih mak, diorang put in the bank, or they keep, or they actually spent it all already. Okay, and the value of money, like tadi kita pun dah berbincang juga the value of money, how to be responsible to your own money. Okay, for the kids, okay, if let's say diorang ada a certain amount of money, do they spend everything? Or do they save? Or what do they do? You need to understand their concept of duit first before you tegur lah. Okay, and identifying needs and wants. I'm not sure if you have downloaded all the resources available, but this needs and wants is quite very exciting lah. Okay, when your kids write down what they want, what they need, you can actually see really what is their wish list. It can be part of their birthday present also lah, okay, for yourself. But this is where they can actually also know how to save for their wants. Okay, and purchasing power, spending power, all this. Okay, how do they spend? Do they just take what they want, or they just take every single thing? Ke macam mana? Okay, so this has been covered on our spending punya session last week. But if you wish to re-look at the video, we will send you the link lah. Okay, it's a YouTube link where you can actually watch it again. Okay, so the next one will be on recap budgeting.
Okay, so this is a recap on budgeting, which we did last Sunday. Okay, so for this yang tak attend, I'll just briefly go through lah what was shared last week. Okay, so what was covered was the importance of budgeting. So kenapa is it important to actually teach our children lah, kenapa nak kena buat budgeting ni? Okay, it's basically just to help them to make them understand the importance of to live within their own means lah. So apa-apa yang diorang ada, you have to make full use of it. Okay, we don't want to eventually get them in the long run until get them masuk into debts and etc. Okay, so if they understand the importance of budgeting, and they're doing it right, they will eventually be able to make good money decisions lah. And this is actually an important life skill for them. Okay, and then we talk about creating awareness. So this creating awareness is simply creating awareness within the environment. That means first and foremost, you being as a parent, you have to set a good example lah, which means you have your own budgeting book, like what our guest speaker does. Ada his own physical budgeting book. You can show it to them. Okay, so yeah, because you know kids always tengok apa yang kita buat. Okay? Kids emulate what almost everything that we do. So we want to create an environment whereby it's something normal to do budgeting in the family. Okay, yeah. So creating awareness, and also we talk about let them join in a family budgeting session. So katakan if you is within the family culture to have monthly budgeting sessions, let them sit in with you to see how you and your partner actually plan out the finances. Where does the money go to every month? Okay, and then we talk about tracking exercises whereby katakan they have their allowance, they want to spend on what and all that. Okay, so we have the estimated cost and the actual cost to fill in. I think we shared like a small table on that. So what are the things that they spend on, what is how much to spend on that, and what is the actual cost. Okay, yeah. And then we talk about allocation exercises whereby besides just checking the expenses, the money can also, we need to look into putting them into the other spaces lah, which is we mentioned about putting the 3 jars, which is the spend jar, save jar, and the giving jar. Okay, and lastly, to help manage the money with the kids lah, because at the end of the day, we also need to supervise lah whether they are really putting in the money into the correct jars and all that. Okay, whether they are doing that, but whether they are still living within their own budget, etc. Okay, and we need to enhance that culture of cultivating. It is what you do, is what you have that makes a difference lah. Okay, all right. So and today's topic is about savings. I think a lot of useful insight was shared by our guest speaker. So we're just going to go briefly on points form lah about our savings. Okay, so what saving means is just that it's the money that you keep lah, usually in a bank account instead of spending it. So this is just a definition as it is. Kenapa cakap? Oh, I terpress. Allah, sekejap . Okay, all right. First, we need to agree on the importance of savings. Yeah, we're just open to the floor. So maybe can just share with us your thoughts. Kenapa, why is it important to teach our kids the importance of savings? Yeah. Kenapa kena ajar them to save? Kena save How is it important? Why is it important? So is it to handle money better? Okay. Bunda says to handle money better. Perlu kena ajar dia orang to save better. So hidup tak susahkan orang. Masya Allah. Yes. As much as possible kita nak manfaatkan, we want to bring manfaat benefit to others lah. Kita tak nak susahkan untuk hidup orang lah. Kita tak nak susahkan hidup orang. That is still tomorrow. We need money for future use. Yes, yeah. Okay, so we want to make children understand kenapa, why is it important for them to save money. Okay, just the aspect of saving is of course, like Barakah mentioned, you need the money for future use, and then kita tak nak susahkan hidup orang lain, the event kita we are short of money, etc. Okay, so just briefly on what it means, why kids need to save money is of course most importantly for emergencies lah. Even as us adults, we need to save some money for emergencies. Okay, we don't know kalau ada some kecemasan ke apa, that is that liquidity for us to tap into cash that we can use lah. Okay, and then there's also something that the kid want. Short-term goals, for example, a bicycle. I think our guest speaker mentioned pasal dia nak a bicycle. So there's some ways whereby strategies whereby it actually help his daughter to achieve the goal lah, bicycle. And okay, a bicycle can be something that is quite manageable. And then there's also something that is a bigger purchase. So example, a phone, dia nak a new iPhone or a new PS5. Okay, that cost berat kan, mahal kan. iPhone berapa sekarang? The new one. I tak tahu, I bukan iPhone user.
1,000 plus.
1,000 plus. Okay, so comparing a bicycle which is $100 to an iPhone which is 1,000 plus, that is 10 times the cost. So that means they will have to save a longer period of time lah kan. Alright, and also their education. So this is kalau katakan they want to save for their own education lah. Thinking about save for them. This might not be they might not know it. They might not know the importance of it now, but you can already instill the importance of education to start saving for the education for the long term. Okay. Also future expenses, wedding, house, and essentially it's just to build the habit of savings lah. So that kita like Kak Sabari kata, tak hidup pun susah orang lain lah. Okay. Alright. Okay, ways to save. Okay, there are many ways to save, but minimally we just separate it between short-term goals and long-term goals lah. So short-term goals, kita can just save in the in the wallet atau savings jar that we mentioned in budgeting, or in tabung lah, piggy bank. Long-term goals, you can actually put it in the bank atau put it for long-term investments. Okay. Alright. Now a little bit of discussion. As parents, do you save certain amount which you won't touch, and where do you save? Jika duit di tangan akan mudah dibelanjakan, betul. Okay, so as parents, do you save a certain amount then that you won't touch? Personally, I do. I do save a certain amount that I won't touch. Yes, bank investment, yes. I have myself too. Where do you save? Saya dalam envelope tak dalam kunci. It's same. Yes, I do have some I don't know if it's the right word, simpan duit bawah bantal that kind, where I just letak tepi tapi dah lupa dah sebenarnya ada duit. Those small changes somewhere. Right, nice. CIMB Islamic Bank accounts. Okay, yes. Yes, okay. I have some in the bank, I have some in kat rumah juga, duit bawah bantal yang dah dilupakan. Okay. Great. Thank you for sharing. Dinas, you want to take it away? Next one.
Okay, so the second discussion will be, does your child have a tabung or a place for them to save? Do you provide, if let's say they already start saving, do you provide something for them to save? Okay, simpan cash di rumah takut kalau ATM nampak. Betul the recent thing yang terjadi tu dengan DPS few months ago kan, dia ada double transaction, some people were affected, alhamdulillah I wasn't. And it might just deplete within the day kalau you spend a lot lah on the previous day. Yeah. And then kalau dah deplete tu macam mana tu? Tak ada cash in hand, is very, we call it cash in hand more into liquidity, you know. I save in a tabung at work locker. Make sure lock work locker pun kena lock tau. Yeah, tabung, there are so many types of tabung, and you can also Google dekat YouTube how to make a piggy bank lah. Okay, kalau you put tabung, I tak tahu they will capture the word tak, but if you put piggy bank, they have so many ways of resources. Kira kan using a recycled resources like a box, what else? A plastic or a Ziploc bag, you know. She simpan dalam tabung. Yeah. Okay. So if let's say your child do not have a place to save, nanti kita will share a bit more lah. Okay. Nora dia cakap, yes, my kids do, but it's those tabung that can be opened. So I save keep for my younger son, 7 years old. Otherwise, he wants to take a look at it and sometimes take out. Yeah. Okay, bila anak-anak nak keluarkan duit, because like us, we sometimes trigger, our itchy hand trigger nak keluarkan duit because kita dah save banyak kan. Walaupun sikit pun is banyak to us, you know. And to keluarkan tu, kadang-kadang you as a parent, you must set a goal technically and set a deadline. So technically, if let's say you already save for 3 months, maybe this is the time where you can kasih the leeway lah, okay? Kasih the leeway to take out $5 ke, $10 ke, up to you or according to the amount, yeah? And at least they know that they save for something. That's when you need to do the needs and wants lah. So when it comes to the needs and wants, at least they know that they are saving for something that they actually want. Okay, and if let's say you nak top up ke, that is totally your discretion lah, okay? Yeah, so I think we go on to the next slide. Okay, so how to make kids a money saver? Okay. So how early should we instill this saving habit into our kids? Okay. To me, I really think that as early as 2 years old, when they start to speak and understand, as long as they orang faham tabung ni apa, you know, it's just by basic aja lah. As they grow older, they will actually understand. If let's say your kids already the big girls and boys, maybe like 12 years old, tengah ambil primary school, PSLE for example, okay, you can actually just start. You just start any time of the time that you just explain to them 10 sen pun is good enough to save rather than nothing. Okay, so motivate and encourage our kids lah. Next. Okay, so how much is enough? Okay, this is just a guideline. Okay, guideline for ourselves and also for our kids lah. But because our kids punya allowances are quite tight at times where we give what they need. Okay, but if there is a balance for their daily punya allowances, this is just a guideline. You can calculate 20% to save. But for example, for kids, we did mention at spending and budgeting, okay, in this session. Okay, how much is enough to save is that you need to really write down berapa their daily expenses. Okay, kita kena faham whether dorang beli makanan, beli Milo yang $1 tu, okay, ataupun dorang tak beli Milo $1 tapi they have that $1 coin. So what do? Bila dorang balik on the way home, dorang pergi kedai mamak tak beli keropok, you know, this kind of things. So you need to ask them to write down. Let them do freely lah. Okay, let them do, note down, jot it down on paper. Okay, the best is always paper lah. Macam Hady I always do tau actually. Then I said some. Okay, anyway, so this is the guideline lah, 20%. 20% you just put it on yourself, okay, as an adult, because you have allowances and also gaji, salary, okay. So if we can do, insyaAllah, your kids also will have that habit also. Kalau 20% tak cukup, for example, your expenses is very, very tight, okay, how you set your percentage and have it, what's the word? Selalu use that percentage lah, be consistent, that's the word. Okay, and tips, okay, for kids wise, at times when you have a little bit more on your side, you offer them incentives or rather bonuses, or maybe have them to earn this money through doing chores. Okay, ada a few ni. Okay, Kak Sabaria cakap parent pun kena ada foundation policy for the kid, for their future education. Betul. Okay, Kak Sabarina, sometimes the dilemma is when they save for something, but when time to buy went into shop, they see something better and the interest change. Memang betul. Kita pun sama kan? Kita bersama masuk supermarket macam itu. Okay, these incentives ideas could be a solution. Yeah. So sometimes when they have something in mind to buy, that's when the decision making will come into. You have to ask them some questions. Is this affordable? How much does it cost? How much do you have on hand? Okay, sometimes they will expect parents to top up. But if you're willing to top up, why not? But if you want to teach them how to do this, macam ikut budgeting, ikut the certain amount, you did this method where you only have $20, you have to find something else, something like that. You know, when it comes to this kind of decision, you be the queen. You are the queen. You be the queen. Yeah. Okay, next. Okay, so timeline, goals to achieve. When we save, we need to have a goal. Okay, at times. Tapi kalau tak ada goal pun tak apa. Okay, so every savings has a goal in mind. Okay, so a goal, it can be, if let's say you tak nak beli apa-apa, but you have a goal to save $100 within 1 month. That is a goal already. Okay, so how you want to differentiate or rather ketepikan. Susah betul nak sebut. Okay, ketepikan the certain amount. Okay, so this is just an example. Okay, right now the punya hip is about foldable bike. Okay, bike boleh lipat. Okay, which is very good, I believe. Okay, this just a Decathlon punya brand. Okay, based on Decathlon, $360, and it's already sold out. By the way, so jangan cari. Okay, dia dah sold out. So to achieve by end of November 2021. Okay, this is just when. So this is the timeline lah. You give yourself timeline, or rather you ask your kids to give themselves a timeline. Okay, so you need to know the cost of the bike, or rather the benda. Okay, kalau tak tahu, just put a certain amount, or rather you Google or you search how much this particular thing costs. Okay, kalau if you have a certain brand, you know, okay, this brand and this amount already. Tapi kalau tak ada, then you just put NA ke apa lah. Okay. So to achieve one, you need to be realistic also. Within 12 weeks, are you able to save $360? Yeah, within 12 weeks. Boleh tak? Okay, because with all our kids' allowances, is it enough for them to save that certain amount? Okay, if let's say you don't have anything to buy, you are saving just for the sake of saving, in terms of to have liquidity money aside, or rather for emergencies, you also need to do this realistic punya time goal lah. Okay, how much you want to save, put that a certain amount. So in this, this is dah max sikit pula. How much to save each week from September? Okay, we follow by September, now it's already end of August. So from September to November is about 12 weeks. Okay, $360, you divide by 12 weeks is about $30. So every week, your child or yourself need to save $30. Okay, so this is just a simple max for you to do. If let's say you nak buy per day ke apa, you go ahead, you divide by 30 lah, just 30 days. 30 days better, because not every day is 31, every month is 31 days. Okay, so this particular photo that you have seen on the right side ni is actually available for you to print out as well. Okay, or rather save or download. Okay, weekly planner for kids. Okay, they can actually write down their goals and objectives as a whole. Okay, this one has been shared previously, so I'll share it again with you. It's available for you to download as well. Okay, this is by macam a summary of every single thing. Okay, how to earn, whether you receive anything, whether you manage to save, did you spend? Okay, spend termasuklah duit makan minum dekat sekolah. Okay, did you share with your friends? Did you buy them something? Okay, and then sedekah, whether you donate. Okay, so this is where you can actually use this. Technically we call it worksheet lah. Okay, macam sekolah pula. Okay, this paper. Okay, you can actually just print out. If let's say they have an iPad, because I know some schools use iPad. You save it on their iPad. Let them use a pen ke apa ke to write down. Okay, so that is a weekly lah. It's based on weekly. So we have week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. Okay, for the month. Okay, this is my anak. Okay, nama dia Safia, sama dengan Hady, tapi different spelling. Okay, Safia and Ryan's goal. Okay, so I started this this year. Okay, having them this tabung. This tabung, I bought dekat Shopee lah, $2 something sahaja. Okay, so it's actually a very small tabung where my intention is to save them $1 a week. A week tau. So every end of the week, kira kan either Saturday or Sunday, I will just give them $1 because dorang tak ada allowance kan for school kan. So this is what I just give lah, $1. Okay, kadang-kadang pun terlupa dan just top up lah, you know. But one good thing is that when they are young, they do not know how to open. Alias benda ni pecah lah. Okay. Tapi all this tabung is letak at a very high high spot, but they can see. Okay. So for Ryan is only 3 years old. So he don't really know what he do, but he likes to put the $1 coin ke apa-apa note kat dalam. Okay. It's a exciting moment for them lah. Macam benda tu masuk ketuk jatuh gitu, you know. Macam masuk dekat shopping center selalu ada this macam a coin nak kena krik. Apa? What is it called?
Yang mainan tu
Yang mainan-mainan tu masukkan duit. So bila masukkan duit, diorang dah tak nampak benda. So diorang cuma nampak benda yang keluar. Okay, tapi yang ini coin masuk terus, oh okay, it stays there. Okay, so for Safia pula, she actually will always tell me, can you put in front so I can see my money? So like, okay lah, kan, because it's clear lah. Okay, this one dia clear, ni baru start, so I think 2 weeks early this year. Okay, that's for my kids punya technically goal for this year that I set for them lah. And I think Faj will share her son pula.
Yeah, this is my son. So it's not exactly a goal, like just something that you like to instill for the family. Okay, so this was actually a take-home activity from his school. But honestly, I'm so thankful for that as well lah. So this is a home project. It's actually to make a sedekah box. Okay, so we made this sedekah box. It's just basically to instill the habit of giving or sedekah. Okay, so this one macam case like on the way, by the way, you have the extra change, you can just put inside lah. Okay, make it obvious, accessible and easy. So this one tak payah letak dekat high places. Make it obvious dekat depan mata. So every time you nampak, oh okay lah, we have a little bit of change, letak kat dalam. I mean sometimes kalau you pergi Zam-Zam ke Victory, you nampak so many tabung in front or different masjid or madrasah. When you have the change kadang-kadang from after paying your bills, alhamdulillah kalau you have the intention, you can also give a little bit of sedekah as well, right? Yeah, so this is what we do, and I don't know if it helps, but we cover the box, so it's tak nampak berapa yang kat dalam ni. Kalau penuh alhamdulillah lah, but currently it's still ongoing, dia belum penuh lagi. So the intention why cover, kira ni jangan pandang belakang kasih dan jangan pandang give and don't look back. So kalau dah terkasih $50, jangan buka dan take for a change lah kira. Okay, sebab we believe that sedekah tu tidak mengurangi harta. Okay, this is a hadith lah. So yeah, this is what I do with my son. We have this sedekah box at home. Also this one is not just for him lah, it's also for us, whereby kita as parents, not as parents, as adults, kalau kita nak save sedekah and then tak sempat pergi masjid ke, or we have to find somewhere to donate kan, kita tak tercari tempat untuk sedekah, this is one straight avenue lah. We just sedekah, and then when the box suffer ke apa, then we can send it out for at the proper place lah. Okay, so we'll just end off with this. Okay, so basically I think we've been talking about this book lah. Okay, Hijazi mentioned and Hady mentioned about this book. So this is how it looks like. Okay, so I just what do I do with my money? I just got it from the website lah, Ban Kitty. So this is the book that actually Hady, our guest speaker, wrote. It is by Sunset Creatives, but if you just want to read rhyming storytelling session, I don't know, my son likes storytelling sessions. Every night he will ask me for a story, or he will ask me to read a book with him. So this is a good way lah, I feel, to instill the idea of money, how to save and all that with your kids lah. So it also to help children build the financial habits together. I think what's also interesting is that there are the printable stickers. I think children love stickers, so it's very engaging to have this with them lah. Okay, all right. Okay, with that, this is the end of our session. Thank you for listening in. Back to you, Hijazi.
Inshallah, thank you so much. Appreciate it, Fash and Nas. Let's give them a round of applause of appreciation. Well done. Wow, okay. I just realized that today's session is very, very powerful. I do not know, but I think those who did not manage to make themselves available today, I think they missed out a bit on the personal sharing. I think it is very powerful in that sense. And I appreciate the fact that Nas and Fash gave us even more powerful strategies alongside what Hady shared with us earlier. And I think the three of them encapsulate and really affirm why we need to save and why we need to share the concept of savings with our children. Thank you so much to the three of them. Now, to all parents yang ada kat sini, hopefully insyaAllah, whatever small nuggets yang our speakers today, Faj, Nas and Hady shared, it becomes an ilmu jariah that you get to share with all your family members or your children especially, to start them off with, and just to inculcate small habits. Now at Barakah People, and when we decided to create the Moolah Kids Academy, we actually discussed, and I shared with Nas and Faj, that our Moolah Kids Academy have to be based on 4 trusts or 4 pillars. Okay, so the 4 pillars that we want to inculcate with the community and our kids especially is the 4S lah. Okay, so the 4S ni yang kita nak tanamkan dan tabungkan dalam masyarakat kita is, firstly is spend responsibly, share your resources, make sedekah wherever you can, and then of course save for a better future. So these are the 4S lah. Okay, jadi ada yang tanya kenapa spend is part of it. Kita kena understand that we have to spend responsibly. The economy have to move. So kita as parents have to teach our kids how to spend responsibly. As what Hady shared earlier, you have to be very thoughtful and ada niat bila kita nak spend. Kalau kita spend untuk bantu orang, that's excellent. You see? And then when you share resources, mungkin tak ramai daripada kita yang ada kekuatan ekonomi ataupun duit. Tapi when you share resources or ilmu like this, and you inspire and empower other people to act on their own capacity, that is your very own contribution. And then when you have sedekah, I love the way Faj put it. Okay, her hadith at the end of that sharing was that sedekah tidak akan mengurangi harta. And this is something we have to teach our kids. We have to share with them that sedekah does not reduce your wealth. Ini kita kena yakin as Muslims that you must be in a perpetual state of wanting to give sedekah. I do not know how we can do this as a community in the long run, insyaAllah, but we have to instill this in our kids lah. So biar anak-anak kita nampak kita put money inside those sedekah boxes. And then you realize not the contrast. Nas punya duit kita nampak macam, you know, the kids put in the money, they can see and let them be motivated. That's one way. And then for Faj, the contrast is bila you sedekah, don't let them see. This is something I want to leave all of you with lah. Kenapa this kind of psychology is very important. Kenapa bila kita nak usahakan sesuatu, when it comes to your own personal motivation, let you see. Okay, jadi you are motivated. Tapi bila soal-soal akhirat, something that you want to do for the better good of the legacy or community, don't see. Jadi you tak akan ada rasa perasaan mengira. Okay, ada tak orang pernah letakkan $50 sikit? Alamak, tak salah letak 50. Aku ada 50 je untuk minggu ni. Tak boleh keluarkan balik daripada tabung kan. Okay, so that's something that you need to understand lah. And lastly, as what Hady mentioned, saving is a very important component. All right. So thank you once again to everyone who made yourself available. Now, before we slide off, we got 5 minutes. Anyone has any questions or any issues you want to raise? Ada tak? In the chat or something like that. I think most of our parents here segan-segan, malu-malu lah Okay, tapi never mind. What I'll do is I'll just get I want to hear one piece of advice from everybody, and that's the participants. Okay, so I'll call one of you one by one, and then after that, I just want you to give us a piece of advice that you learned from us today. Okay, so I'll start off with, kalau tak nak on camera pun tak apa, kita dengar suara je. Miss Shira, can you share with us one nugget of wisdom you can share with us after going through with us today? Boleh unmute your mic, Shira. Hi Shira, you there? Okay, tak apa. Kak Sabarina, you go first. Kak Sabarina, anything you want to share with us? Kak Sabarina, you can unmute yourself, Kak.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, actually I grasped a new concept of us parent being the creditor. It's a way of actually sharing awareness to the kids from an early age, what is not permitted in Islam and what you should take be aware of lah, and also a way for them to actually save lah, in a sense.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Kak Sabarina. Shira, just now I was asking if you can share with us one thing that you learned from today's session or what you have taken away, Shira. Okay, never mind. Okay, Raja Jahil, Masya Allah nama. Raja Jahil, can you share with us one thing that you perhaps learned from this session? You can unmute yourself. I think not around also. Okay.
Can I share?
Can Nora, please go ahead.
Yeah, I think for me it's more on I understand better the importance of inculcating the habit of saving in the kids and to do so earlier, and also how to encourage them not to be so focused on the instant gratification part. I think that one maybe I will still need to work on because it's like I think often our kids want something that we feel compelled to oblige. So I have to teach them on patience and all that as well. And also on the saving, on being committed onto what they have spent and how much they have to save every week. Yeah, I would have to maybe work on that as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nora. Appreciate it. Wow, very great insights. Nurlian, are you there, Nurlian?
Tip-tip yang sangat bermanfaat untuk diikuti.
Masya Allah. Thank you so much. Hopefully it was a good sharing. Kak Sabaria, last from you. Can you hear from you, Kak Sabaria? Anything you take away from?
Banyak take away. Alhamdulillah lah. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Kak Sabaria. All right. So we have almost come to the end of the session. Once again, I want to thank all of you and to also our trainers and speakers today. We are trying to get things up and running with regards to communicate, with regards to empowering the kids, our children, with regards to financial literacy and empowerment. So inshallah, hopefully you stay tuned with us. So in the coming September holiday, we are planning one session. We try to inculcate a game session called the escape room lah. So the escape room punya concept will be learning more on how to use what knowledge you have and how to escape an escape room. Kalau kita tak boleh buat via physical, I'll be doing it online via Zoom, insyaAllah. So that is something that you want to take notice lah. So all the resources, all the things that we shared over the past 3 weeks are the things that you can actually download over at our resource page, which our assistant from the Barakah people, Elma, has kindly did it for us and put it on the chat on the right. Okay, and for your information, the resources that is being done by the Barakah people and the Moolah Kids Academy is being done by Elma. Okay, you may not have seen her, okay, but she is the one who dedicated her time and her knowledge to put in all these resources for us to use. So thank you so much, Elma, for helping us. And of course, to all the parents, thank you so much. Please download resources. The videos of this sharing over the past 3 sessions will also be up on our YouTube channel, which is the Moolah Kids Academy channel. So it just started. So do click subscribe, like and share whatever that you need to. And we hope that you'll be supportive of our endeavors and efforts lah. And I just want to invite Hady because I want to give him a certificate of appreciation. Hady, are you there?
Yep, I'm still here.
Okay, Hady. I think we learned so much today, and I'm gonna spotlight you. Elma, can you help take a picture, please? Okay, Ken, boleh ambilkan gambar tak, Elma? Oh, sorry, it's the different. Can see? Sekejap, okay, Ken. Okay, can take a picture. Elma, are you there?
Dah, Irma dah ambil dah.
Dah ambil
Dah,
Okay.
it is done.
Okay, thank you so
Thank
much.
you,
Okay. So Hady, just before we end off, can you share with us a bit about your book and where can we get the purchases for you?
Okay, thanks Jazi for giving me the spot. Okay, so my book, What Do I Do With My Money, is actually available in a myriad of online platforms. It's also available not just on Amazon, but on Barnes and Noble and a few other like, I think you can just go to my IG account at sunsettrain.creatives. That will have all the online platforms that are available that is selling the book currently. So as you can see, the book is really catered more towards younger children lah, with all these illustrations. And this is actually a copy from my own daughter. So what she has done so far, Alhamdulillah, she has managed to make some savings. Yang hari tak pergi sekolah, of course, tak dapat allowance. So these are the kind of things that is very interactive, is very engaging. The parents can also be part of it, and it's very important that the parents are part of it. And if you order online, of course, directly through the seller, it will be the usual price. However, if you want to get this limited offer that I am offering through Barakah People and Moolah Kids, you can directly order from my IG account and I will give you a 20% off. For the paperback, which is the soft bound cover, is only $25.56. And if you buy the hardcover, which is like this one, is $40.76. And on top of that, I will also include to you, along with the book, is the complimentary bookmark, so that you can just keep track of which the weeks that you are on, and also a sticker sheet. This is my daughter's sticker sheet. Of course, ada yang dah pakai lah, but I will give you one sticker sheet, and one sheet is enough for the book. But of course, the book only has 12 weeks because the rest of the weeks you can go to the website www.banbankiti.com, and you can print out the subsequent weeks from week 13 to week 52 for the entire year, and you can also print out the rest of the sticker sheets. So yeah, that's all I have about my book. Thank you so much, Ijazi.
Thank you so much. Alhamdulillah, appreciate it. Okay, so Raja Jahil was asking any chart. Yeah, so Fash will put there the. So as I was sharing, Hady's book is, I think, is an amazing resource. Now for all our information, currently there is no book on finance or money management being done by any Malay Muslim individuals or entity. Okay, and the reason why I wanted to share Hady's book is because initially in the year when he started this and completed it, he was thinking of actually giving this as a resource, which is at complimentary. Maknanya dia tak nak charge, tak nak print. He just wanted to give this. And I think this is doing a disservice to the community. When we have creatives like him wanting to share good knowledge, I think this is something that we have to appreciate, because this is the only way whereby we can encourage people to come up with publications and resources. So Alhamdulillah, with his encouragement and with his dedication, of course, he managed to publish his first book, and I think this is a great accomplishment on that part lah. All right, so thank you so much, Hady. Appreciate it. You can see the links of purchases and where you can get in touch with him. Follow him on his Instagram and on his social media, inshallah. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the session. Thank you so much once again to Naz and Faj, our Moolah managers, who had dedicated their weekends over the 2 weekends to be with us, sharing with us nuggets of wisdom. Ni dua ni, Bunda dengan Ummi Faj ni memang they are the kind of quirky mothers that you might want to get in touch with kalau you nak, learn anything with regards to finance or personal finance or with kids. Okay, because they are really passionate. Tengok muka diorang tak pernah muka masam. I rasa these are the kind of mothers, kalau anak minta duit tanya macam tak apa, boleh, that kind of thing. So everybody has their own parenting style, but hopefully, inshallah, these are the kind of lessons we can learn lah. Okay, so I will end off the session, and if there is anything, any mistakes or any weaknesses or any shortfall on our part, kami daripada The Barakah People and the Moolah Kids Academy mohon maaf. Andainya ada kekurangan dan kesilapan daripada segi penyampaian kita ataupun tak sampai ilmu yang nak dihajatkan, kita minta maaf. Dan kalau ada kebaikan, if there's any good or benefit from this 3 sessions, it was only from the will of Allah that we managed to share this with you, and it was also from your willingness and openness to learn and receive from us. That's why it's eventful lah. Okay, so keep in touch with us. Inshallah, we'll get in touch with you also via emails, and we hope to see you in our next edition of activities. Okay, so till there, inshallah, thank you, take care, and have a safe and good weekend. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam.